welcome to my channel. It's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147, and I'm bringing you today my week 12 of my project life for 2018. And for this one I've gone right back to the July Citrus Twist kit. So my kits I sort of store on a pegboard in little trays, and it is getting to the point where there's a bit too many there for it to work properly. So what I decided to do, I was having a marathon scrapbooking day and I'm now having a marathon voiceover day, but what I decided to do was see if I could sort of start trying to use some of these kits up. It is sort of getting to the point where the embellishments are quite limited on what I've got. I've used most of my favourites, and sometimes the cards and papers are the same. So for this one I decided, as I say, to use the July kit. I quite like the cloud paper to put with a picture of a helicopter that my husband's built out of Lego. And I added in from my Craft Stash challenge the gold elements from My Mind's Eye Yes Please, which I hadn't touched, so I did decide I would try and use some of those up on this spread. I've also got these gorgeous gold letters, which I have used on a couple of spreads in the past, but I did decide to try and get some of those used as well. I don't so much mind mixing the two elements of gold. Sometimes it does bother me, but for some reason mixing these two didn't. So I've got the word Lego at the top, and then I've got the numbers, basically 0 to 9. I'll end up placing them down. I did think about moving it over to place it on that picture that shows my new bathroom wall picture display that I've created, but I did find that because I already had some of the gold at the bottom left, it wasn't working that well. So I am going to use another piece of the paper just to do a little layer behind the photo so I can tuck a little tag in, and I do like the way that that makes it pop, and it also brings in a little bit more of the black that I do have in the word wild at the bottom. So I'm using the die cut word wild, and then I'm adding in a little hashtag party to make that work. I did look at bringing in a little black strip word, but I found that it just didn't really sit right with the journaling, just looked a bit too stark. So what I have done is I've pulled out my little bowl that has a lot of die cuts from Citrus Twist kits. So at the minute I have broken up 1. By the time I finished this day, I think I'd broken up 3. So I had a look through there to see if there was anything from past kits that I hadn't used, and I did find the little word strips that says "Here we go again." So I thought that was quite suitable, because this Lego helicopter, my husband actually started it probably about a year ago, and it hadn't got finished. So on this day he did decide to get it out again and get it finished off. So that's now got pride of place in our front room. So it seemed quite apt, that little phrase saying. So now I'm going to have a look at what else I can sort of add in just to bring a little bit of colour. I do have a filler card in this page. I didn't have many photos, so I had a look through my Craft Stash challenge items. I did pull out these epoxy stickers from Studio Calico, but oh boy, I just could not find any that worked colour wise or phrase wise. But I did end up using these Bella droplets. I did end up using quite a few of the blue ones. They do seem to slide about a little bit, so it did take me a little bit to get them lined up how I like them. But I did decide to bring those in. It echoed a little bit of the blue in the number card to the side, so I felt that sort of brought that colour in a few other places and looked good. So I'm going to get some stuff stuck down now. I went to put something on this card and realised it was not stuck at all. But one thing you can do, so there's a tag, the tag that I've just popped in the side said "Enjoy it," and the colours underneath were in green, which didn't really match anything else that I have on the spread. But sometimes you do need to think, okay, but if I took this, will that colour not be there? Or can I cover the colour up maybe and make that work instead? So sometimes if you do seem to be struggling with the embellishments that you do have in front of you, think of a way that you can change them or make them work for you. I wouldn't have really used these little gold numbers. I might have used one or two separately, but actually by just making it a feature of the numbers and counting all the way up, I found that I got to use them all. It looks good as an extra little embellishment, and that's it, job's done. So think of different ways you can use your sort of stash bits, especially if they look pretty. You know, those numbers do look pretty, so why not keep them as a big long line, then split them up to try and make them work that way. I'm not sure where I went to then. I've been watching Netflix, so maybe I was making sure that the next episode played while I was scrapbooking. I'm going to mess about with these little triangles yet again because they just were not lined up the way I like them. Oh, I know what I was doing. So when I was scrapping this, I was actually watching somebody doing a live scrapbook on Facebook. So so she was live scrapping, I was scrapping along with, and every now and then I sort of got caught up in the conversation. So apologies when I disappear off, I am just typing a little reply because we've sort of, just got caught up in the conversation. So all my Like Forever girls on the chat thread, if you're watching this was the day that the live scrapping was taking place. So anyway, back to the layout. I have used the other triangle on that sheet. So you get 4 triangles in the blue, but I do like odd numbers for like it is on the journaling card. So what I did was I decided to use the other one to do the dot for my I on Wild. And I like the fact that that's got it used up rather than sat there for an eternity. I did pop a few on that top card, and I did ensure that I just sort of chopped one a little bit as well, and that sort of echoes them somewhere else on the spread. And that's going to be that. So I'll show you some close-ups and of course some photos at the end. If you like what you've seen, please give it a like, and if you want to see more, please hit subscribe. Thanks for watching.